Year 2, Week 15, Conference Championship Week round. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back to another DNS address. The regular season's built the resumes. Championship Week is handed out the hardware. And ladies and gentlemen, we have champions. South Florida is the American champion. Georgia Tech is the ACC champion. Sacramento State is the MAC champion. And Troy gets its rematch with Georgia Southern and walks out the Sun Belt champion. Two DNS programs also have earned a first-round bye in the college football playoffs. Bowl season set. The coaching carousel has started spinning. And Old Dominion's true freshman walked into New York and left with the Heisman Trophy. Not a bad week. Oh, and before we get into all of this, Army took care of business against Navy, 29-7, closing out another successful week of Army-Navy. Tradition handled. Now, though, we have trophies, we have playoffs, we have bowls, we have Heisman, we have heartbreak. Welcome to Championship Week. Tonight's theme is simple: crowned. Let's get into it. Our headline of the week are our conference championships and Troy getting its revenge. The league entered Championship Week with 5 programs playing for conference titles. When the dust settled, South Florida, Georgia Tech, Sacramento State, Troy got their titles, and we talk 4 different stories. Let's begin with the biggest national statement. Georgia Tech completes the perfect championship run. Stanford entered the ACC Championship trying to do what nobody else has done all season: beat Georgia Tech. That didn't come particularly close. Number 2, Georgia Tech wins the ACC Championship 48-7. Yes, 48-7 in a conference championship game. Georgia Tech did not survive Championship Week. They owned Championship Week. Clutts completed 11 of 18 for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mendoza even came in and added 119 yards and another touchdown through the air, plus a rushing score. Chad Alexander rushed for 93 yards and a touchdown. Kuma rushed for 59 and another score. Joel Sharp caught 3 passes for 58 and a touchdown. And Georgia Tech's defense finished with 5 sacks, 1 interception, 2 forced fumbles. Complete dominance. Georgia Tech moves to 13-0. The Yellow Jackets remain number 2 in the country. They are officially your ACC champions. And because of that resume, Georgia Tech earned a first-round bye in the college football playoffs. The Yellow Jackets will wait the winner of number 10, Tennessee, and number 7, Texas. 13 games, 13 wins, ACC trophy secured, playoff bye secured. The goal now, 14, then 15, then another trophy. South Florida destroys number 9, Tulane. Number 9, Tulane entered the American Championship with a chance to derail one of the best seasons anywhere in the dynasty. South Florida had other plans. The Bulls win 51-19, and before anybody looks at MVB Jr. stat line and starts asking questions, yes, 3 interceptions. He did go 15 for 28, 132 passing yards only, and South Florida still scored 51. That tells you exactly how this team has become. Joe Jackson rushed 20 times for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wilder added another 79 yards on the ground. The defense intercepted 4 passes. 2 of those were pick sixes. And Jaquan Smith decided special teams needed a championship highlight as well. A 99-yard kickoff return touchdown. South Florida scored through offense, defense, and special teams again. The Bulls improved to 12-1. They moved to number 3 in the country, and they are officially your American Conference champions. South Florida also earned a first-round bye. The Bulls will wait for the winner of number 11, Michigan, and number 6, Oregon. Remember how year 2 started? South Florida lost 56-49 in a shootout with Louisville. Now, 12 wins, conference champs, number 3 in the country, and 4 victories away from a national championship. This is a season. Troy gets the rematch and gets the trophy. Now, the game we knew was going to be delivered. Number 24, Troy. Number 13, Georgia Southern. Sun Belt Championship. The first meeting, Georgia Southern won 50-42. Troy wanted another shot. They got it. And this time, the Trojans finished the job. They won the Sun Belt Championship 45-38. This was another heavyweight fight as well. Waldrop was outstanding, 13 for 17, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Jordan Levitt rushed for 80 and a touchdown. Roach added 68 and another score. Miles was caught 2 passes, and of those 2, he had 104 yards and a touchdown. Then came the championship changing plays. Miles Graham intercepted Brian and returned it 28 yards for a touchdown. The Troy defense forced a fumble. Mojo returned a kickoff, 99 yards for a touchdown. Troy found points everywhere. Georgia Southern was able to fight back. Brian threw for 378 and 2 touchdowns. J.J. Bradley rushed for 3 touchdowns and caught another. Alex Taylor exploded with 5 receptions and 173 yards and a touchdown. Farouk recorded 11 tackles. The Eagles put 38 on the board. But championship week was not about how close you come. Troy scored 40. Troy scored 45. Troy got its revenge, and Troy is now your Sun Belt champion. The Trojans improved to 10-3. Georgia Southern falls to 11-2. And after splitting the season series, Troy owns the game that came with the hardware. That's the one that people remember. Troy heads to the New Mexico Bowl to face Houston. Georgia Southern heads back to the Boca Raton Bowl against Florida International. One gets the trophy. Both have business left. Sacramento State wins the MAC. Buffalo and Sacramento State met for the MAC championship, and this one looked nothing like the shootouts we've seen around the dynasty. Sacramento State wins 13-3. Welcome to championship football. Not everything has to be pretty. Sam Babcock threw for 253 through an interception. Godley rushed for 88 and added 34 through the air. Rainey scored the game's only offensive touchdown for Sacramento State. Moses caught 6 passes for 91 yards. The defense, you may ask? 1 sack, 1 interception, 3 points allowed. This is how you win when the offense is not lighting up the scoreboard. Protect the lead, play defense, make Buffalo earn every yard. Sacramento State improves to 9-4, and after all the early season quarterback chaos and crisis, all the interceptions, all the uncertainties, the Hornets are officially your MAC champions. That turnaround deserves recognition. Sacramento State is now headed to the Xbox Bowl to face Minnesota. From early season turbulence to 9 wins and a conference trophy, that's a successful year 2. Texas State's miracle run ends 1 win short. Texas State's season has been one of the best stories in the dynasty, 0-4, then the comeback of 6 wins, bowl eligibility, a conference championship appearance, a rematch with number 20 Boise. This time, Boise wins 47-28. Risling did throw for 206 and 3 touchdowns. He had an interception. Browning carried 28 times and produced another big workload. Cooper Payne added 68 yards and a touchdown, plus 28 receiving yards. Damian Crow delivered 6 receptions with 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. The defense was able to block a kick, but Boise State was simply better on championship day. Texas State finishes 6-7. No trophy, but don't let the final record erase the season. The team started 0-4. They played its way into a conference championship. That doesn't happen by accident. The Bobcats came up 1 win short of a title. Year 2 proved something. The program can fight. The Heisman Trophy belongs to John Barillo, and now the biggest individual award in college football. We tracked this race for weeks. Joe Jackson led. Shelton Sampson Jr. entered the conversation. Then John Burrell started producing numbers that look less like football statistics and more like somebody's accidentally turned the sliders down. Now it's official. Old Dominion's halfback John Burrell wins the Heisman Trophy, and as a true freshman, let me repeat that, true freshman Heisman Trophy winner. His year 2 numbers were 277 carries, 1801 rushing yards, 36 rushing touchdowns, 80 receptions, 762 receiving yards, 4 receiving touchdowns. He had 1 kickoff return for 17 yards. That's 2563 yards from scrimmage and 40 offensive touchdown. 40 as a freshman. He rushed for 6 in 1 game. He repeatedly earned National Offensive Player of the Week. He carried Old Dominion's offense through wins and losses, and by the end of the season, the voters couldn't ignore him. He becomes your Heisman Trophy winner, and the scariest part, he's only a freshman. The rest of college football has to deal with him again next year, and probably the year after that. Potentially the year after that as well. Enjoy that thought. The champions, let's make this official, the ACC champion as number 2 Georgia Tech, 13-0 perfect CFP bye. American champion number 3 South Florida, 12-1 CFP bye. Sun Belt champion number 21 Troy, 10-3, won the rematch, got the trophy. MAC champion Sacramento State, 9-4, defense delivered when it mattered. 4 conference champions, 2 college football byes, 1 Heisman winner. There was plenty of productive championship week. Our stock-ups this week, of course, are our champions and John Barillo, your Heisman Trophy winner. Our need more film this week is Georgia Southern's explosive play defense. They just didn't produce. They produced plenty of offense, but the defensive touchdown and a 99-yard kick return helped flip the championship. It was a 7-point game. Those plays become the game. Texas State, the comeback season was real. The championship game showed there's still another level required to finish it. Mississippi State, Northern Illinois, Central Michigan. Their seasons are now finished. The evaluation periods have begun. What stays, what changes, and how quickly can year 3 start looking different? Which brings us to the coaching carousel. It has started. Championship week was not all about trophies. Several of the programs entered the offseason looking for new leadership. The following coaches were dismissed. Northern Illinois, Embrisi. Northern Illinois finished 3-9. There were flashes. There were explosive offensive games, but consistency never arrived. Mississippi State's coach Nighthawk. Mississippi State finished 5-7. The Bulldogs came within 1 win of the bowl eligibility, but ultimately missed the postseason. Central Michigan's coach Will E. Nelson. Central Michigan finished 3-8. The Chippewas showed late season improvements after 0-6 start, and the program will move into another direction. And Arkansas State's Bobby Babcock. They finished 2-10. We continue to discuss during the season, though. Shada, well wishes to you, brother. Football is football. Real life comes first. We have 4 openings, though, and 4 potential new directions. And as everybody in college football knows, the transfer portal is not the only one where December gets chaotic. Coaching carousel is officially spinning. Our bowl season, though, for the DNS teams outside of the playoffs, the postseason's not over. Boca Raton Bowl has number 16 Georgia Southern versus Florida International. Georgia Southern enters at 11-2 after falling in the Sun Belt Championship. Now the Eagles have an opportunity to finish year 2 with 12 wins. New Mexico Bowl, number 21 Troy versus Houston. The newly crowned Sun Belt champs enter bowl season 10-3. One chance to finish with 11 wins. Our Xbox Bowl, Sacramento State versus Minnesota. The MAC champions get a major postseason test. Sac State has already reached 9 wins. 10 would make this season even more memorable. And the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Old Dominion versus Notre Dame. And yes, the new Heisman Trophy winner gets one more game. John versus the Fighting Irish. Bowl stage. You already know where the football is going. The question is whether Notre Dame can stop it. The college football playoffs. There are 2. We have Georgia Tech, 13-0 ACC championships waiting on the Tennessee-Texas game. South Florida, 12-1, your American champions waiting on the Michigan-Oregon game. Georgia Tech has never lost. South Florida's lost once, but both have conference championships. Both have playoff byes. And they're now 3 wins away from becoming national championships. This is where everything changes. The regular season means nothing if you do not finish. Our Built Not Given award this week goes to Sacramento State. Going back to the beginning of the year 2, this team had games with multiple quarterbacks throwing interceptions, quarterback ratings in the negative. The offense looked unstable. There were legitimate questions on where the season was headed. Sacramento State kept working. They leaned on Godley. They found stability from Sam Babcock. The defense got better. They kept stacking wins. They reached bowl eligibility. They're 8 wins, then a bowl, then a championship week. And when Buffalo held them to 13 points, Sacramento did not panic. The defense held Buffalo to 3. They raised the trophy anyways. 9 wins. MAC champion. Nobody handed the season to them. They built it 1 correction at a time, 1 win at a time. That's our Built Not Given. The Army-Navy week does come to a close. Delivered another chapter in one of college football's greatest traditions. Army defeated Navy 29-7. There are bigger rankings on the board. There are playoff games coming. There are trophies being handed out, but this game remains different. Army Navy is about tradition, service, pride, and players who will eventually be asked to go far more important things than win football games. Army owns the rivalry this year. Respect to both sides, though. Ladies and gentlemen, champions have been crowned. Georgia Tech is your ACC championship. Is your ACC champion. South Florida is your American champion. Troy is your Sun Belt champion. Sac State is your MAC champion. Georgia Tech and South Florida are headed to the college football playoffs with first-round byes. Georgia Southern, Troy, Sacramento State, and Old Dominion are headed to bowl games. Texas State, incredible comeback season, ends one win short of a conference title. The coaching carousel has officially started, and John Barillo, as a true freshman, is your Heisman Trophy winner. Think about that. Year 2 started with questions. Now we have trophies, playoff teams, a Heisman winner, and multiple programs about to play some of the biggest games in their history. This is what Dynasty football is supposed to become. Not every season ends with a championship. Not every rebuild happens immediately. Not every coach survives. Not every favorite wins. But when championship week arrives, there's no hiding. You either raise the trophy or watch somebody else do it. Now the conference season is over. Next is bowl season. Next comes college football playoffs. And now there's only one trophy left that matters more than all the others. The national championship. Georgia Tech, South Florida. Your tickets are punched. Go finish the job. Because banners last longer than box scores. Trophies last longer than rankings. And champions are remembered. In the Department of Natural Selection, you select, we collect. Built, not given.